In lesson 5.3, we talked about lines written in slope-intercept form. Here in 5.5, we're talking about lines in standard form. An equation of a line that is written in standard form is ax plus by equaling c. Notice that for standard form, the x and the y are on the same side of the equation. This differs from slope-intercept form, where the x and y were on opposite sides of the equation and the y was isolated. Alright, so here are a couple of examples of what we're talking about. So here in standard form, notice that the x and y, same side of the equal sign. Here in slope-intercept, they're on different sides and our y there is isolated. Finding the x and y intercepts, so these two things right here, alright, so if we want to find the x-intercept, what we're going to do is substitute 0 in for y and then solve for x. And then to find the y-intercept, we're going to substitute 0 for x and then solve for y. And this is what we're going to do probably in the second part of the lesson when we're asked to specifically find what the intercepts are. Recall that Recall that the y-intercept is the point at which the graph crosses. Recall that the y-intercept is the point at which the graph crosses the y-axis. So we can get rid of that's written twice. Recall that the y-intercept is the point at which a graph crosses, get rid of that, the y-axis, and the x-intercept is the point at which the graph crosses the x-axis. Alright, so to graph a line in standard form, there's two methods that you may use. Method one is using intercepts like we did up here, but if we are asked to graph in standard form, this is the method that you should be using. Alright, we're going to solve the equation for y, get it by itself, and then draw the graph after it's been written in slope-intercept form. We will use this stuff right here, again, when we're specifically asked to find what the intercepts are. Alright, so let's get started. Miss Heath is giving a health quiz tomorrow. Her quiz is made up of problems that are worth 2 points and 4 points. The total points that someone could earn on the quiz is 20. Let x represent the number of 2-point questions and y represent the number of 4-point questions. In part A, write an equation in standard form to model this situation. Alright, so x is the number of 2-point questions, y is equal to the number of 4-point questions. Alright, so what do we know? We know that 2x, right, plus 4y has to equal what? It has to add up to 20 points. Alright, so our equation in standard form, 2x plus 4y is equal to 20. Now we need to solve this equation for y, so we got to get y by itself here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this and use the order of operations in reverse. So we're going to move things around and we're going to do the addition and subtraction before the multiplication and division. So what I mean by that is we're not going to divide both sides by 4 because here it's 4 times y. Alright, don't do that first. What we're going to do is, so we have a positive 2x, we're going to subtract 2x first. Alright, that cancels, so we're left with 4y equaling Alright, we cannot combine like terms here. We have a negative 2x and a positive 20. So negative 2x plus 20. Alright, and then now we can divide by 4. We have 4 times y. What undoes division? What undoes multiplication? Division does, so that's why we're dividing both sides by 4. So we have y equals, and I should rewrite this so you don't make this mistake. We have to divide the negative 2x by 4 and also the 20 by 4. So I'm going to separate it. So we're left with y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5. Alright, and so now here we have an equation written in slope-intercept form. Now we're going to graph. Alright, so we're going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's your y-intercept. And then down 1 over 2. And then we're going to connect. Okay, so we just graphed, we did part C, we graphed the solved equation for all combinations that could occur. Now, if Miss Heath accidentally tells you there are 6 2-point questions, how many 4-point questions were there? Alright, so if there's 6 2-points, we're going to go ahead and substitute that in for x here. So we're going to have y equaling negative 1/2, and you could plug it into this one, or you can do this one, it doesn't matter. So negative 1/2 times 6 plus 5. So y is going to equal negative 1/2 times 6 is going to be negative 3. Negative 3 plus 5 is going to be 2. So there will be 2 4-point questions. Alright, so that should make sense. So if there's 2 4-pointers, that gives you 8. There's 6 2-pointers, that's 12. 12 and 8 would give us our 20. Alright, the next one. Mr. Petal is looking to plant some red roses and yellow roses for his flower garden. Red roses cost $5 a plant and yellow roses cost $6 a plant. If Mr. Petal spends exactly $80 on these flowers, what possible combinations could he purchase? Let X represent the number of red roses, and Y represent the number of yellow roses. We first want to write an equation in standard form to model this situation. Alright, so X, number of red roses, and Y is the number of yellow roses. Okay, so red roses cost $5. So 5x. Yellow roses cost $6 a piece. So 5x plus 6y. And that has to equal exactly $80. Alright, so there's our equation to model the situation. We're now going to solve for y. Alright, we got to get the 6y by itself. So we're going to subtract 5x from both sides. So we have 6y equaling negative 5x plus 80. Divide by 6. Remember, we got to divide both the negative 5x by 6 and the 80. So y equals negative 5 6x plus, let's see here, 80 divided, we can reduce 80 over 6, divide top and bottom by 2, so it's going to give us 40 over 3, and that's, so we're going to have to remember this when we graph. 40 over 3 is approximately 13 1/3. Okay. So let's graph. So 13 1/3, we got to go up 13. It's going to put us about right there. Alright, and then we're going to go down 5 over 6. And then we can connect those. Alright, so there's the graph of our equation for all combinations that could occur. Alright, and then it says if Mr. Petal purchased twice as many red roses as yellow roses, how many of each did he purchase? Alright, so he purchased twice as many red roses. So let's get a different color here. We got a lot going on. So X is the number of red roses. And we know that the number of red roses is 2 times the number of yellow roses. So he purchased twice as many yellow roses. Twice as many red roses as yellow roses. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to substitute now 2y in for x in our equation and then solve. So we're going to say 5 times 2y plus 6y equals 80. So we're going to have 10y plus 6y. That's going to give us 16y equals 80. And then divide by 16. So we know that y equals 5. Now, how many red roses then? We're going to plug 5 back in here. So, and I think you would know, like, okay, if it's twice as many, if you bought twice as many red, then we should get 10 red roses. But let's just double check our answer. So 5x plus 6 times 5 equals 80. So 5x plus 30 equals 80. Subtract 30 from both sides, so 5x equals 50. So x would equal 10. So we have 10 red roses and we have 5 yellow roses. Alright, for the next part here, we're going to find the x and y intercepts of each line and then graph it. Alright, so to find the x-intercepts for problem number 4, what do we have to do? We have to substitute in 0 for y and then solve. So 3x minus 2 times 0 equals 6. So 3x equals 6. So x equals 2 if we divide both sides by 3. So x equals 2. That's a y-intercept. I'm sorry, that's the x-intercept. And then the y-intercept, that's going to be, substituting 0 for x, so 3 times 0 minus 2y equals 6. So negative 2y equals 6. Divide by negative 2, y equals negative 3. So 0, negative 3 is the y-intercept. And then you would connect. Alright. I'm going to wipe that clean and we're going to do number 5. Alright, so we're going to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Alright, to find the x-intercept, substitute in 0 for y and then solve. So negative 4x plus 8 times 0 equals negative 16. So you have negative 4x equals negative 16. Divide by negative 4, x equals a positive 4. So the x-intercept is going to be the ordered pair 4, 0. And then the y-intercept, we're going to substitute in 0 for x. So we're going to get 8y equals negative 16 divided by 8. So y equals negative 2. So 0, negative 2 is the y-intercept. Connect. Alright. So there you have, what lesson was this? This was 5.5. We will, the ones that we did not do, we'll use those as a quick review to begin class. I'll see you guys tomorrow.